Modern society in Night City is fueled by the media. Viewed by some as tools of independence and freedom of speech, it now has the power to enslave, encompass, and enrapture. Network News 54, also known as News 54, Network 54, or simply Net 54, is perhaps the most prominent news organization in Cyberpunk 2077. It may also inadvertently hold one of the secrets to the mystery of Johnny Silverhand and a potential contact for V. In 1991, Network 54 started out as Cable News 54, or CN54, devoted to news coverage and traditional magazine production for other networks. CN54 challenged CNN and developed a reputation for tough, accurate, hard-hitting journalism. CN54's quality earned it spectacular success, from which it was able to diversify and expand. As a fledgling corporation, CN54 gained control of several smaller cable networks, and pioneered the small-scale development of several new broadcasting and production technologies. The real big break, however, came in 1998, when CN54 bought the ailing NBC from General Electric, hereby expanding its influence from cable to the broadcast airwaves. With this action, CN54 became Network News 54. Under the guidance of a young programming genius named Howard Wong, Net54 diversified its programming into all varieties of entertainment, becoming the first media corp to exert major control over both the cable and broadcast domains. Although the reputation for outstanding video journalism continued, news became an anachronistic word in a title, kept the style only. In the early 2000s, the corporation came under new management in a hostile takeover by Dreyer Investment Foundation, based out of New Mexico. The Dreyer Foundation installed all new management and launched an aggressive program of diversification and hostile takeover. Backed by the Dreyer Foundation's extensive wealth and industrial holdings, Net54 was able to rise to prominence as the first media supercorporation of the 21st century. In fact, Net54 pioneered the aggressive hostile takeover and talent recruitment strategies later perfected by then upstart Diverse Media Systems. This expansion is what really gave Net54 the resources to compete with dedicated technology corporations in the development of new media tech. Until the NBC buyout, Net54's tech research and development had been small-scale and largely theoretical. The corporation's broadcast and production facilities had never relied on cutting-edge tech, as cable and broadcast video had been established long before the corporation's genesis. This changed with Net54's financial maturity, using profits from the broadcasting, advertising, and recording divisions, as well as several other departments. Net54 financed the creation of a new subsidiary, International Media Technologies, IMT. This was the move that catapulted Net54 into the ranks of major world corporations and earned it the throne of king of the media corps. The first shakeup created by Net54 via IMT research was in the venerable newspaper trade. In 2002, Net54 turned the way Americans received their daily news upside down. The initial developments affected people who received printed news at home. A program was offered under which individuals subscribed to Network 54 would receive a computerized newspaper service. The news was always current, as it was constantly updated. In addition, the subscriber could call up video footage pertinent to subjects of interest. In this way, the information, content, and diversity of a newspaper came with the excitement of a newscast and without excess waste. Shortly thereafter, a small portable unit was introduced that could hold up several thousand pages of print and photos in RAM, and project them on a small flat screen. With a cheap home attachment, subscribers to the Net54 printed news service could transfer whatever information they wanted from home decks and take it with them on their commute. The modern digitized newspaper and magazine services of Night City are merely refined versions of this process. In another expansion, Net54 established a foothold in the music industry in 2005 by introducing sound chips. Popular with interface-equipped youngsters of the 2020s, these are small ROM chips available in vending machine stores, in promotional giveaways, and even as gifts in cereal boxes. Sound chips gained popularity with many large media corps because most underground rocker boys couldn't afford the production setup. Digital discs are easy to produce, and the equipment needed to do it isn't very expensive. Sound chips were even cheaper to mass produce, but the facilities to do it were still beyond the reach of street rocker boys. Despite the emphasis on traditional broadcast technology such as radio and television, Net54 did not ignore the potential possibilities of cybernetics and cyberware. In addition to sound chips, there are several other media services which involve interfacing. IMT developed these systems which made it possible to use interface plugs as glorified headphones. Many companies now market personal stereo systems which read standard laser discs, but deliver the music in a form of aural simulation similar to sound chips. You hear it in your head via your interface plugs. The advantage to the system is that the reproduction is flawless. No one else can hear it, and the listener can still hear what is happening in the world around them. The drawback is that, as with sound chips, users sometimes note that the music has an ethereal or unreal quality about it, since there is no corresponding physical stimulation. Braindance is, in fact, the one new media technology in which Net54 did not develop. Although Net54 produces braindance programs, it missed its chance to play a part in the development of the technology when it was outmaneuvered by rival DMS. Network 54 rapidly became a monolithic media corporation with significant holdings in virtually all types of entertainment, always competing with DMS, where DMS hedges its bets with new technologies and is always driving technological evolution of entertainment and media. Network 54 is much more of a broadcast stalwart. Despite these differences in perception, the two corporations are frighteningly similar. With their rapacious appetites for new product and talent, their diversity and their omnipresence in the entertainment world. In Night City, DMS and Network 54 project different images to the public and are perceived in contrasting ways. DMS is all about flash, style, beautiful stars, and high-impact scandal. Network 54 is taken for granted, a household name, a trusted friend, a ubiquitous presence inescapable anywhere in Night City, where DMS is a rapacious world of snakes, each actively trying to surmount its neighbor with subterfuge and backstabbing in high executive fashion. Network 54 prides itself on putting forward a more unified front. It's no secret that open hostility exists between DMS and Net54. The Howard 1 debacle was the most visible incident of open armed hostility between DMS and Net54, but there has been a litany of other incidents between the two media corporations. The DMS national news team, acting on a false tip placed by Net54 agents, burst in on a hotel room live on camera, expecting to break in on a celebrity drug deal. It turned out to be the president of DMS News engaging in an adulterous romantic tryst. Mass firings and one high-profile divorce case followed. Of course, Net54 profited again, due to its exclusive broadcast license with the LA County Divorce Court. As for Johnny Silverhand and a potential connection with the Cyberpunk 2077 narrative, close friend of Silverhand's and samurai keyboardist Nancy had unfortunately fallen in love with a dwarf addict who physically abused her and wanted her to quit Samurai. Nancy, who had been a booster gang member prior to joining Samurai, decided enough was enough. Following another incident, she threw her fiancé out of their 83rd story penthouse. While Nancy wished to rejoin Samurai, her 7 months in jail caused the band to become apathetic, and the members concluded it was time to part ways. Nancy ended up changing her name to Bess Isis to become a news reporter. Bess would find her career-catapulting story via rocker boy band Justifiable Homicide, who had been hiding out in Mexico City for almost 6 years. After tiring of the constant pursuit by thugs of a military government, the band had gone to work playing the rough crowds of construction workers. Mexico City was being rebuilt, and a large portion of the workforce were American nomads. Bess Isis was in town doing a piece on the Nomad Underground. She was in the bar having a drink, talking with the band, when an emaciated 16-year-old kid walked into the bar and fell flat. Revived by Bess Isis, he told the story of 600,000 people marooned in South America. Some of them were trying to get out by walking almost 3,000 miles to get home. The story was well documented, and Bess Isis was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize and became one of the faces of Network 54. Should they need help from Silverhand's old friends, it seems highly plausible she would seek out Bess Isis, who is potentially one of the most influential media stars in Night City. Thank you for chipping in.